everybody, welcome back to Shots Life and the $10 boat. This week we're getting the right hand side stringer up underneath done. You know how I know? Because I just did it. Stick with me. Welcome to my life. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the $10 boat. It's early. We got lots to do today. I plan to get the other stringer in there and kind of get it put down. So let me drink a little more coffee and we'll get busy. All right, see you in a second. All right, so the first thing I wanted to say is thanks. I think it's Ken Thompson. I'm not sure who gave me the advice. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But to put oil in my fan, and I was looking for oil holes, and then basically he said, look, dummy, you just put it around the motor spindle in the center, and there's cloth around it, and then that sticks in the oil. I put oil in there, and she works like a champ, start stops, just like it was a brand new fan. Who knew? I didn't know. So if your fan doesn't work, just put oil around the shaft there, and there's a cloth that goes around the shaft, and it works like a champ. Sucks the oil in, and anyway, so thanks. I never heard of that before in my life. That's kind of cool. So you saved my $15 fan. I think, I can't even remember where I got it. I think I got it in Korea, but I don't even remember where I got it. We've been carrying this, we have two of them, and we've been carrying around, I don't know, around the country for years. Around the world, actually. Second thing is, for my UK friends, the Queen, sorry about that. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I actually have seen the Queen a couple times. Once when my parents were visiting London, we were walking by Westminster Abbey, and my parents were tired, so we sat down on a bench, and they started putting fences up. And I went up and asked one of the bobbies what the fences were for, or whatever, and he said he couldn't tell me, but if he was me, he'd walk around the side and stand by the gate. So we did that. And I got my parents over there, and we just kind of waited. It was about 15 minutes or so, and then a small crowd formed, not a big one, a small crowd formed, and the Queen came, and Charles and Camilla, and then I'm not sure who else. Some of the sideshow people were there. So anyway, we got, that's how close I've gotten the Queen. That's the best I could do. But I know a lot of you have been raised with her, and pretty neat how your government is separate, the Parliament and the Queen, and there's a lot to that, but just the tradition and the stability of the Queen, I think is important. People may disagree, and I'm not trying to get political. I know that starts to dive into politics and what you think about your country, and I'm not trying to tell you what to think about your country. I just think she was an interesting figurehead leader. Anyway, I'll leave it alone. But it was neat, you know. So, I mean, obviously she's impacting some kid that's from Sulphur Wells, Kentucky, in some way, right? It's pretty neat. So, on to this. We have lots of things going on here. This did not come out the way we wanted it to come out, to be honest with you. If you look up here, sorry, I don't even have the light connected yet, but we have some crack in here, but we had some shrinkage when the thickened resin dried. And I think that happened underneath this, because remember, we worked this in good. It looked good when we left it alone, and now it's white, which means there's air in there. In some places it's just the white from the stuff behind it, but all along here, there's air in there. So what I'm assuming happened, because we know we rolled it in real good, I mean, I spent a lot of time on it. What I assume happened is we had the shrinkage that we have here underneath this, because I put it on so thick. I was really trying to work this side for that radius. Every time I do resin, everybody tells me my radius is not good enough. So I was trying to put it on thicker to get that radius. I don't know how I'm going to get around that. I think what I'll do for this one, we'll just kind of do a test. I'll finish putting that resin in there when I put this stringer in on this side. From halfway, it's like halfway done, and I'll let that dry, and then I'll put a coat on top, a thinner coat on top, and then work that tabbing after that bottom dries out, and we'll see if that doesn't work better. Yeah, so not really happy with that. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm not really as happy with that as I wanted to be. But I think it's because the resin shrunk. I never heard of that. I mean, it's never happened before that the resin has shrunk up like that, but you can clearly see that it did. And I don't think there wasn't a huge temperature swing or anything in here that I can recall. I mean, I know it was really hot the day that I put it in, but the moisture I think was fine. If I don't remember actually. I think the moisture was fine, or I wouldn't have been doing it probably. So yeah, so we got that. So we're definitely gonna have to be careful that that doesn't happen again. So we're gonna do this side stringer. It's gonna be the exact same thing, right? I'm gonna come to here. I'm gonna stop my fiberglass here with my tabbing. We'll start again on this side. So when I put this wall in there, I can go wood to wood basically onto the piece that I put in there, the board that's gonna go here. Of course, the board that's gonna go here should match this height anyway, right? So that that blocks off. I think once it gets past that height anyway, it can get in up there. Maybe it's a little bit higher. We'll have to check that. But that'll allow me to reach in there and get that bottom side sealed out. Otherwise it's gonna rot. I think it's more important to get the bottom thickened resined and tabbed in than it is to worry about the water up here, right? Because if it gets that high, I'm in trouble anyway. So yeah. So today's plan is, of course, I need to get the lights, but it'll be get that stringer in here just like we did on this side. And that's probably gonna be it for today. Yeah, so this is going to be as real as time as it gets. Today is Monday, and you'll probably see this Thursday, or this Friday, sorry, because we have had a lot going on. My mom's in the hospital, and my dad is blew his replacement knee out, so dragging him to appointments and whatever, and getting him around. And of course, my sisters are running around with my mom and whatever. And then we power washed the house, their house yesterday and stuff. They have a 2-story house, and the bedroom's on the 2nd floor, so we're going to look to downsize them into a 1-story house so they have everything on one floor and get around better. So we got to put the other house up for sale, so I went up and power washed it, and we've been cleaning and fixing, and you know, the things you do when you're going to sell a house. So we've been working through all that. So I just kind of been slow at getting my projects done. I have been working on another project as well. I know you guys are like, man, can you finish something? Yeah, my niece asked to use my Corvette for her wedding, and of course the Corvette is not even close to being done. So I have 10 months to knock that project out, so I've been working on that too, so you'll start seeing those episodes as well. Anyway, let me get to work. Let me get this going. We'll do some thicken resin on this side, like I said, and then we'll thicken resin those two down, or we'll do the one and then the other, and then I'll tab them in. And yeah, I think that's what we're going to do this episode. So we'll see what happens. All right, well, enough talk. Thanks for joining me. Let me get busy. All right, so we got this one in there. I'll need to goop a little more where this is going to go, and then I need to make up some more thickened resin. But we started thickening resin this one, and once we get that thickened resin and I'll get it set, I'll do my measurements to make sure we're straight. I think we're in pretty good shape. That started getting a little thin there at the end, and of course we finished off this with the first coat, and looks like I need to go in there and scrape it just a little bit. Yeah. But I'll let that thicken up just a little bit before I scrape it and final. I got to get all the scrap stuff off though, because I will have to sand that to get that next layer in there nice and smooth.
All right, well, let's make up some more thickened resin and press on. All right, I gotta go quick because I'm taking my mask off, but it's coming along well on this side. You'll see that the board fell over, so I had to get stuff, thickened resin back up underneath there. But it's coming out nice. That was a little brown. That was interesting when I mixed that up. And that's not normal for what I'm used to, but it did turn out the blue, same the grayish, whatever, when it started drying, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make some more up and finish out this side. I'll probably put some here on this side like I did over there, except for I'm not gonna try to wrap it today. I'm gonna let it shrink or dry, whether it's shrinking or not. I don't know that answer. But I will tab this one side down, and then I'll just leave the other side open until that'll just have to be a second project. I was gonna try to put thickened resin in there so it could start drying, but I'm afraid I'll knock that board around. So I'm probably just going to do this, tab this side, and then let it dry, so we don't end up with the same thing that we got going on over here. I just don't. That's just ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, I worked it too. I don't understand why I did that. It's funny how this stuff reacts. Sometimes you're just like have a glorious day, and sometimes it's like what in the world. So anyway, let me get going on this, get my mask back on, and we'll keep chugging at it. We'll get this side thickened resin in, and we'll tab this side then after that. All right, let's go. All right, you know me, I'm kind of a weirdo. So I've gotten that in, thickened resin in. I'll have to smooth this side out just a little bit. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and thicken resin all the way down here, just to fill that crack in. And let that dry. I knocked the board a couple times. It's pretty solid now as that stuff starts drying. I also need to fill this crack in. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make some more, and then I'm gonna go ahead and thicken resin this whole edge. And I know my camera work's probably terrible right now, but you get what you get. All right, let's make up one more batch. Do this crack all the way up, and then I'll tab this front side. All right, let's get on that. Woo! All right, stinky, so I'm gonna talk quick. We're doing pretty good. We got this all tabbed in. I see a little white right here. I've rolled it a bunch of times and I can't get it to not be white there. I'll just keep trying at it. I hope it doesn't turn out like this, because I don't like that at all. It seems like when I pre-resin my boards, it seems like I almost have more trouble with them doing that, but I don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish out tabbing this, and I dropped the battery in that side down there, so I need to go in and smooth that. I had to stop cleaning the battery. The battery had died in this one anyway. So I'll get that done. It's running just fine now. So I'll get that done and get this, I'll smooth that out, and I'll get this tabbed in, and I think we'll call it a day, because it's just, you just can't do anything with it. And I'll keep working this just to make sure, or just to try to get that white stuff out of there. Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't like the way that this other side turned out. So we'll just keep working it hard and doing the best we can do, and moving on. All right, well, let me get going on that, and yeah. Whew. I got a new mask. It's a lot better. Right, real quick, we had a good day. We got this all in there. I have rolled and rolled and rolled on this. I put a lot of resin on it to see, and that roller works a lot better when you just have a ton of resin on there. I pushed and pushed and pushed air bubbles out. I know I'm gonna have a little difficulty right down there on the end of that board. I can see it already. I've worked it and worked it and worked it. It's just that it's folding over at that 90 degree. Yeah, it's tough on it. So I know I'm gonna have an issue there. The one underneath is on good, so the top one's the one that's gonna have air. It won't be like this over here. So this should dry out nice. I kept pushing it down. We will see. But yeah, we'll have to come back and tab the back side of both of those in there, and then start getting fiberglass on them so we can get out of that hole. But that's good progress. Whoa, knocked my fan over. So that's pretty good progress for today. And yeah, that's gonna do it. I gotta get out of here. I got the building opened up, airing out, but just not enough oxygen for me. So let me get out of here, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week.